Corey Graves not yet dismissed by WWE. Corey Graves has sparked controversy with his online remarks, which many within WWE perceive as genuine. His future with the company is now uncertain. On January 13th, Corey Graves openly criticized WWE for removing him from SmackDown. After appearing on the show on January 3rd, he featured on NXT 4 days later but was absent from the most recent episode of SmackDown. In his outburst, Graves claimed he was no longer famous enough to perform his role, seemingly reacting to Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett taking over as the commentary team on SmackDown, while Michael Cole and Pat McAfee were assigned to Raw. Graves later stated he had a lot to say on the January 14th edition of NXT, but WWE apparently had other plans. He was pulled from the show and did not make an appearance. Despite subsequently deleting his tweets, his future with WWE appears to be uncertain. Many in WWE believe Corey Graves' situation is genuine. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that sources within WWE insist Graves' situation is authentic, not a scripted storyline. He also noted that Graves has not been terminated, even after his sudden removal from NXT. Everyone I've spoken to in WWE says it's not a storyline. He hasn't been fired yet. He wasn't on the show. He deleted his tweets, which suggests either he had a change of heart or the company pressured him, saying you'd better take those down or else, and he chose not to face them or else. Meltzer further explained the background of Graves' apparent discontent, which reportedly began several months ago. I'd say this started around September, maybe October, when WWE announced the commentary team changes, including Pat McAfee's return. Initially, Michael Cole was temporarily moved to SmackDown, and Joe Tessitore was to start on Raw with the expectation that he'd transition to SmackDown. Back then, the plan for January was for Michael Cole and Pat McAfee to handle Raw, while Corey Graves and Joe Tessitore would take over SmackDown. A couple of weeks ago, I checked if Tessitore and Graves were still set to be the SmackDown team, as I'd been told earlier. The response was that it was undecided. Soon after, it became clear Wade Barrett would replace Graves on the show, and Graves was not pleased. I don't know if Graves was informed he'd be working on NXT in January, but it was around this time he realized he wouldn't be on SmackDown, contrary to his expectations. He was genuinely unhappy about it. As for why he decided to air his frustrations on Twitter, I can't answer that. Some believe he was deliberately trying to get fired by the company. WWE unlikely to release Graves. Meltzer added that if Graves was indeed seeking termination through his actions, WWE may not grant his release. If he was trying to get fired, they likely won't let him go. I don't think they want him jumping to AEW if they release him.